What's going on, guys? One Chance Gaming back here with another video. Today we are going to be making a back-end build. For you guys that don't know what a back-end build is, it is where if your block or primary defender is guarding the ball handler when somebody's setting a screen, in typical pick and roll, it means you're the guy on the back side of that pick and roll, right? So you're either showing for your block. If your lock gets stuck on the screen, if your lock gets through, you're making sure the center's not rolling to the rim free. You're also kind of in charge of lanes. A lot of people kind of have this as their defensive captain almost, right? Some teams have it as their lock because the lock's the one guarding point guard. Some people have it as the back end because you're kind of watching a lot more things, right? You're covering people's cuts, you're helping with the pick and roll, you're contesting to a corner, you're boxing out for your center. All of these things are extremely helpful for back ends. So today we are going to be making my back end that I'm currently running. I had one in the beginning of the year that was more of a switch all build, but it turns out speed matters a lot more this year than it normally does. So that build is actually no longer happening because it only has 75 speed, and this one, you guys will find out, has a base of 90 speed. Depending on your cap breakers, you can get it even higher than that. So we are going to be going power forward because that's the primary position you'll play. I know some people run them at center, but then sometimes you and your center get switched icons. So I like to keep it a power forward because then you are always Y or triangle to your point guard, and keeping your point guard's icons consistent helps a lot. The next thing is 6'6". I understand it's a little small. However, just kind of based on the ways I can show you guys, it won't be as big of a difference. Really, the only time I've noticed the 6'6" versus any other build I play, back end, center, etc. on, as far as just like the layup animations, is when you're guarding like 7'3" centers, right? And I mean, most of the builds I make are going to be shorter than 6'9" anyway, or even 6'9". So I mean, center animations just kind of happen, especially if they have really high close shot. It's just kind of hit or miss. But then after that, we are for the weight going to go 261. I know most people are probably wondering why. As of right now, when you guys look at this screenshot, it doesn't necessarily make the most sense because you're wondering why I would have such high strength. The agility's kind of low, different stuff like that. But as you put up your wingspan, we are going to go 7'2" because that's the max you can go at this height. It actually lowers a couple of things here. So, just all in all here, once we have all of that set up, we are pretty good to go. So, we are now going to go to here. So, we are going to start with physicals first. I feel like that's just kind of the best way for you guys to really kind of see and understand how this build works. So, we're going to start with the vertical, actually, which we have at 80. You can definitely get away with like 75 or so, but I think at 6'6", a little bit extra on the vert definitely doesn't hurt any. Strength is, again, not going to be top of the world. I'm going 85. Reason for this is you can still get gold movable if you're a lock, which you can max plus 1 to half. You can also even still get some brick wall to be able to run secondary pick and roll if you need to, different stuff like that. Agility, we're going to max at 83. Now, if you are guarding the shorter guards, you are typically going to want higher agility just because they move a little bit faster. But I've actually been playing on ball on this build the last couple of weeks, and I'll explain why once we get to that part of it. But it actually still moves pretty well with 83, right? You put it on the right, take over, you get that up as you get take over, and it's not necessarily been the biggest gap between 83 and say like 85, 86, right? I think that's kind of the low end for what most locks run. And then speed, as I talked about earlier, we are going to go to 90. It's not the highest you can get. You can get all the way up to 92, which I mean, even just 90 speed on the back end, right? Most guys are at maybe 80. I think that's what a lot of my builds are at right now. But the fact you have 90, this helps you play on ball as well. You can fly around, you can play lanes. You can also move in and out of that pick and roll pretty comfortably. More times than not, me and my lock have the same speed, or sometimes I even have more speed than he does. So the next thing we're going to go to here is rebound. We are going to go all the way up to 92. Didn't end up using any cap breakers here. The reason is this is actually cheaper than what I did use my cap breakers on. I can also show you guys kind of how to tweak this depending on what cap breakers you have. Keep in mind, I am making this build as of right now. I have 9. I had 8 when I made the build though. So since I hit level 40 for this season, I have my 9th, but the 9th one wasn't really factored in when I was making the build. And then we are going to also go here. We're not going to max this out, but we're going to go 80. The reason is defensive board goes a little bit higher, so it actually goes to 92 for me to get the gold rebound chaser. If I'm on a back end, my primary max plus ones is rebound chaser and paint patroller, right? Which we'll show that here in a minute as well. But rebound chaser, even with gold, I took my max plus one off yesterday because I was playing on ball in this build, so I only had gold. I was still flying around pretty quickly, still able to grab boards. Me and my center were still fighting for rebounds. And also as a back end, your job isn't necessarily to always get the board. Honestly, this could be 60 and it's not the end of the world, right? If anything, if I was to go to that level though, I would definitely have the strength a lot higher because you would want more of a consistent box out and less more animations. The next thing we're going to go to here is block. So block, I know some people go a little bit lower. I went 80 because you can't go all the way up to 84 at 6'6". 84 is what will get you the silver paint patroller, but since we can't go all the way up there, we just settled for 80. It still gets you silver, high flying denier. I still get chase down blocks. You still get animations. You still get snatch blocks, stuff like that. You're just not necessarily going to jump for everything, right? Only go pogo stick. Don't jump all the time. Be smart about your jumps. Be strategic. And even most of the time, just don't even jump at all, to be honest. Now this is where I've seen kind of a diversity as far as backends go. So I go 94 steel because I am going to use 5 cap breakers to get this to 99. This will give me a legend glove, a legend interceptor, right? You're pulling lanes out of the air. You're able to, when you have to switch on ball because your lock got caught in a screen and your lock's rotating so your center can rotate to go guard the center, right? And you are on an island with that point guard by yourself. You still have legend glove, you still have legend intel. If you max plus one, you're removable like I do when I'm on ball. You have half removable, right? So you have basically your lockdown badges, but you are on a back end. That is why I made this, right? Because I am able to switch. Last night, if you guys were in the stream, this is what I was running lock on all night long, was this build right here. I wasn't on my normal lock build, I was on this one. Because you're still able to play consistent enough on-ball defense, you're able to swing, you're able to rebound, you're able to box out, you still shoot fairly consistently. It is all in all around just the best way if you guys play more of a switch-heavy defense, or maybe you're in the wreck by yourself, right, and you want to be a lock. This will help you because you're able to play multiple positions without any issues. Perimeter, we went 89 here. The reason is obviously you could have gone a little bit lower depending on how many cap breakers you have, because your end goal here for me was 92, right? That's all I wanted. I just wanted gold challenger because if I'm rotating to on ball, I put that up instead of rebound. So then I have half challenger, right? As again, a back end build, you're not even the primary lock. However, you can tweak it a little bit. As you guys see, you can go all the way up to 99. I think that's a little excessive. If you're going to do that, you're going to lose a couple of other categories, and at that point, you're essentially just making a lock anyway. So this with the 3 cap breakers, again, like I said, I only had 8 cap breakers at the time of making this build, ends up going there. The next thing that we did is we went 82 interior. I know it doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but silver post move lockdown helps a little bit with the drop steps, the post spins, etc. This is where Paint Patroller is a tier 2 badge, as you guys can see. So that is why if I'm not on ball, that is my tier 2 badge. Also, another way if you guys want to be a truly committed backend, you can either go Paint Patroller or you can go Box Out Beast, because then you will have half Box Out Beast while only paying for 85 strength. It's a pretty good trade-off right there, in my opinion. The next thing we've got here. So this doesn't change. This doesn't change. Again, you're playing backend. This is probably the one weakness of the build, I will say, is I am going 55 pass act. You get bronze timer. It's okay. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to be throwing bullets. You're not the fast breaks and stuff. You're not throwing a lot of those. But again, as the back end, your job is to box out for your center, right? Your center normally has the higher pass act. Your center normally has gold break starter if you're playing on teams like I do. And so your job is to box out so the center gets the cleanest angle to rebound. He can grab it and then he can throw it, right? It's, for me, a lot of times with how we play, if I get the board, my point guard comes back, I hand him the ball, right? I'm not throwing it down the court. I'm not trying to throw it all the way down there. I'm not Patrick Mahomes. But 55 pass act does fully get the job done, without a doubt. Free throw here is going to be, some people may say, a little low. I just don't think it's necessary. You're on a back end. You're not shooting free throws when it matters. You're not shooting free throws like in the last 2 minutes, anything like that. So I typically keep it pretty low. It's a pretty easy shot to shoot. If you use Rick Barry free throw, it's not really all that difficult to actually be able to shoot it. Next, we are going to have three-pointer. I know some people don't like the low three-pointer. I personally always shoot better with low three-pointer. I don't know what it is. I've had 99 three-ball builds. You guys have seen the guard builds. I always shoot really inconsistent on them, but for whatever reason, I go lower three-ball. I keep it pretty basic, and I'm fine. And this is about the verge of where you can green consistently. I think probably 65 is probably the cutoff in reality, but I go 70. That's the comfort zone I've always had for years, is right about a 73 ball. Mid-range, we are going to go 85. So we get silver deadeye, silver set shot, and then you get bronze shifty. Again, you're not really taking many of those. If you guys have watched the Pro-Am stuff, I typically take that corner fade off the right side. Shifty shooter helps with that. Other than that, though, set shot specialist with a good jumper in your corner with your hot zones, you're fine, right? It's a pretty consistent shot. It's not really all that difficult on that one. Next thing we're going to go is we're going to go standing dunk. Standing dunk is at a 72. Only reason for that is because of the bronze rise up badge, right? Just helps you with your standing dunks. If you guys see me on a cut or anything on a back door, center just throws me or point guard throws me the ball. I go straight up with it, you dunk it. That can honestly probably be even a little bit lower, and you can go driving dunk. I just don't think the standing, like even if you lower your standing dunk, you're not getting enough driving dunk to make it worth it. So that's, in my opinion, again, finishing is not the best on this build. But all around, just as a quality back end, you really do get everything done pretty well. As far as takeovers go, I know that's gonna be a big question for everybody. I am on ball. I'm running pest because you get the agility boost as well as your perimeter and everything. And then if I'm on a back end, it is, I know this is bad TV here. I think this one right here. So it is see the future on horse. Is you get offensive board, defensive board, and then you also get vertical. Again, being a little bit short of a player, the vertical helps. So you put all this together, right? You get shades of Tari Eason, Josh Smith, and Amen Thompson. I don't know why Amen Thompson, just because I think you're a little bit too big, but whatever. And then you get the name of two-way mid-range threat. So again, not the craziest build name, but I think all around it is one of the more solid builds that I've actually made this year. Again, run back end on it, run lock on it, swing out the corner, help your center. All that stuff is pretty easy on this build. If you guys have any other questions or you want to see animations, where I would go based on how many cap breakers you have, all that sort of stuff, comment it down below. I will have other build videos for you guys. I do still have a Ben Simmons build video to make, and then we'll probably change it up from there. I'm not entirely sure what I'll make after that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming through. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.